All right, so today we're diving into the world of crypto.
Okay.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at this kind of battle going on between Solana and Ethereum.
Right.
Um, this is a really interesting matchup, I think, especially for anyone following the crypto space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you've got Ethereum, which has been around for a while, kind of the, established player.
Yeah.
You could say the OG.
The OG.
And then Solana coming in kind of like the upstart, the quick, the fast.
The young gun.
The young gun,
Yeah.
and challenging Ethereum's dominance.
Right.
We're going to look at this from a few different angles today to kind of get a sense of where things stand.
Okay.
Are we really seeing a changing of the guard here? Is Solana poised to overtake Ethereum? Or is Ethereum going to hold on to its crown? So
right.
First things first, we got to talk about price, right?
Yeah, everybody wants to know about the price.
Everyone wants to know about the price, exactly. And, as of February 2025, it's looking pretty good for Solana.
It is.
SOL is up 95% for the year.
Wow.
Which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ethereum ETH, it's trailing behind with a gain of about 65%.
Okay.
So, on the surface, Solana is clearly winning this round.
Yeah, Solana's definitely having a moment right now.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't count Ethereum out just yet.
Okay.
One thing to consider is that ETH actually hit a low recently, about $2,156. And when that happened, its relative strength index, or RSI, dipped into what traders call oversold territory.
Okay, now I know charts and technical analysis can be a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
For some people. So can we maybe break that down for our listeners? Like, what does RSI tell us?
So basically, RSI is a momentum indicator, right?
Okay.
It's looking at the speed and the magnitude of recent price movements. And when the RSI drops below 30, like it did for ETH, it could mean that the asset was sold off too quickly.
Interesting.
And a bounce back might be in the cards.
Okay, so even though the price is down right now, this could actually be a good sign, potentially.
Yeah, it suggests that it might be finding a bottom.
Right.
And could be poised for a recovery.
So it's not just about where the price is, but also how it got there.
Right.
And what the momentum is like.
Exactly.
And then there's another piece to this puzzle, right? We got to talk about the whales.
The whales.
Those big investors who are holding thousands of ETH.
Right.
And they've been steadily accumulating more Ethereums since December 2024.
That's right.
Which is interesting, right? If the whales are betting on ETH, it makes you wonder what they know.
Yeah, they tend to have their finger on the pulse.
Exactly.
They have access to information and analysis that most people don't.
So they might be seeing something beyond that recent price dip.
It's possible.
Yeah, and some analysts are even drawing parallels between Solana's current trajectory and Ethereum's rise back in 2021.
Interesting.
Remember that? When ETH just exploded.
Oh, yeah.
So could history repeat itself?
Who knows?
Could we see SOL break through that $500 mark?
It's definitely possible.
It would certainly shape things up.
It would.
But remember, price is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
That's right.
There's a lot more to a blockchain than its token price.
Exactly.
We got to look beyond the charts and consider the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
Like, what can you actually do with these blockchains?
Yeah, how are they being used?
What's being built on them? How many people are using them?
Right.
That kind of stuff.
That's what really matters in the long run.
Exactly. So let's dive into that.
Okay.
Because it's not just about price. It's about utility. It's about adoption.
Right.
It's about the overall health of the ecosystem.
Exactly.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
So you might be surprised to hear this.
Okay.
But despite Ethereum's higher price, Solana has consistently been generating more revenue.
Wow, really?
Yeah, sometimes even by a factor of 10.
That's pretty impressive.
It is, right? It's like, how is Solana out-earning the king of crypto?
Right.
But remember, we're not just talking about the price of the tokens here. We're talking about the revenue generated by the applications.
Okay.
And projects built on top of these blockchains.
Yeah.
And Solana's speed
Right.
and low transaction fees
Uh-huh.
have been a major draw for developers and users.
It makes sense.
Right? It's like a bustling marketplace.
Yeah.
The more people using it, the more revenue it generates.
Exactly.
And Solana's marketplace is booming right now.
It is.
It's got more active addresses, more transactions, even higher DEX volume. Even the total gas fees are higher on Solana.
Wait, really? I thought Solana was known for having really low fees.
It is for individual transactions.
Okay.
But we're talking about the total amount of gas fees collected,
Right.
which reflects the sheer volume of transactions happening on the network.
Yeah, like a busy street market.
Exactly. It might have lower individual prices, but it's making up for it in volume.
Makes sense.
So it's a really interesting picture emerging here.
It is.
Solana might be the underdog.
Yeah.
In terms of price and recognition.
Uh-huh.
But it's making waves in terms of actual usage and activity.
It's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
It is.
But, we can't forget about Ethereum.
Right.
It still has the largest total value locked, or TVL.
Which basically means...
That's a measure of how much money is invested in the projects and applications built on the blockchain.
So it shows how much people believe in Ethereum.
And its long-term potential.
Right. And there's a strong argument to be made for Ethereum's established ecosystem.
There is.
It's been around longer. It's battle-tested. It's got a huge community.
The OG, we can't forget that.
Right. So while Solana is attracting all this attention with its speed and low costs, Ethereum's still seen as the more mature and reliable platform.
It's like the difference between a trendy new restaurant and a classic Michigan-starred establishment.
Right. You know what you're getting with Ethereum.
Exactly.
Got that track record.
But, some analysts are critical of Solana's success. They say it's driven by hype and what they call casino-like applications.
Interesting.
They see Ethereum's projects as being more focused on real-world solutions.
So it's a debate about substance versus speculation.
Yeah, you could say that.
Some see Solana as risky, while others see Ethereum as the safer bet.
Right.
And there's probably truth to both sides.
Probably.
It really depends on your individual investment strategy.
And risk tolerance.
Exactly. Some people are drawn to the thrill of the gamble, while others prefer a more stable approach.
Absolutely.
It's about finding what aligns with your goals.
Exactly.
But speaking of investing, there's one group we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
And they have the potential to really shake things up. The institutional investors.
Ah, yes, the big players.
The big players.
The ones who have traditionally stayed away from crypto.
Right, but that might be changing.
Right. These are like the pension funds and hedge funds.
Yeah.
The asset managers.
Those are the really deep pockets.
Yeah, the ones who usually stick to traditional markets.
Right.
But, crypto's getting harder and harder to ignore.
Yeah, I mean, if you're managing billions of dollars, you're always looking for those new opportunities.
Right, new ways to grow that money.
Exactly. And crypto has definitely shown that potential.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Even with all the volatility.
Right, the ups and downs.
So this whole battle for institutional adoption,
yeah,
it's super important for both Solana and Ethereum.
It is. It's a big deal.
And Ethereum's already scored a big win here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when those spot ETH ETFs were approved?
Yeah, back in July 2024.
That was huge.
It was like...
crypto finally getting that mainstream acceptance.
Right, a real sign of legitimacy.
And some of the biggest names in finance jumped right in.
Yeah, like BlackRock.
Fidelity.
Huge players.
So those ETFs, they had a bit of a slow start.
Yeah, they did.
But they've been gaining traction.
They have more and more institutional monies flowing into Ethereum.
So does that give Ethereum a big advantage?
Well, it gives them a head start, for sure, but Solana's not out of the game.
Okay.
There's actually a Bloomberg analyst predicting a 70% chance of a Solana spot ETF being approved this year.
70%? That's a pretty bold prediction.
It is, but if it happens, it could be huge, Solana.
Right. It would open them up to a whole new pool of capital.
Exactly.
But even with an ETF, do you think those institutional investors are going to be more comfortable with Ethereum?
It's possible. There's still that perception that Ethereum is the safer bet.
Right, the more familiar option.
The devil, kind of thing.
Exactly.
When you're dealing with that much money, you tend to be more cautious.
Makes sense.
And Ethereum's been around longer. It's weathered those market cycles.
It's got that track record.
It does, so it's seen as more established.
More resilient.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit boring.
Right, but boring can be good.
Sometimes, especially when you're talking about billions of dollars.
Okay, so we've talked about price, institutional adoption, the health of the ecosystems.
Yeah.
But what about the actual technology behind all of this?
The tech.
What are some of the key differences between Solana and Ethereum?
Yeah, beyond the hype.
Beyond the hype, right? Because they have very different approaches.
They do.
To this whole issue of scalability.
Scalability, that's a big one.
What do we mean by scalability?
Basically, how many transactions the blockchain can handle per second.
Okay.
And as it stands, Ethereum's kind of limited.
Okay.
Which is why you sometimes see those crazy high gas fees.
Right, when the network gets congested.
Exactly. It's like trying to fit a whole city's worth of traffic onto a single lane road.
I like that analogy.
Everything slows down, and the cost of getting around just skyrockets.
Makes sense.
Solana, on the other hand, it was designed to handle a much higher throughput.
So more like a multi-lane highway.
Exactly, built for speed and volume.
I see. So that difference in scalability, it affects what kinds of applications can be built.
Oh, absolutely.
On each platform.
Sure.
So what thrives on Solana that might struggle on Ethereum?
Well, anything that needs a high frequency of transactions and micropayments. So things like online gaming, where players need to interact with the blockchain in real time, or decentralized exchanges, where even fractions of a second matter.
Makes sense. Speed is key in those situations.
It is. It's like trying to stream high-definition video on dial-up.
It just wouldn't work?
Exactly. But Ethereum, even with its scalability challenges, still has its strengths. Especially when it comes to security and its established ecosystem.
Like we were talking about before.
Right. It's been around longer.
More battle-tested.
It has that massive community of developers and users.
Like a fortress.
Yeah.
Built to withstand any attack.
Good way to put it.
It might not be the fastest or the most agile.
Right.
But it's solid.
Resilient.
So Ethereum's still the go-to
yeah.
for applications that need that high level of security.
For sure.
Like
DeFi.
Decentralized finance.
Right, where billions of dollars are locked into smart contracts.
So it's really interesting. You've got these two blockchains carving out their own niches.
They are, each with its own strengths.
Solana's the speed demon.
The high-frequency king.
And Ethereum is the security champion.
And fortress.
And that's what makes this competition so fascinating.
It is. It's not a zero-sum game.
Right. It's not like one has to win and the other has to lose.
Exactly. They're both pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And they're driving innovation across the entire industry.
Absolutely, which is good for everyone.
It is. It's a healthy rivalry.
Yeah.
And it's leading to some really exciting developments.
Oh, yeah. There's so much happening in the blockchain space right now.
It's mind-boggling. The creativity, the experimentation.
It's incredible.
From gaming to DeFi.
DAOs.
Decentralized autonomous organizations.
Right. The possibilities seem endless.
So let's dive into some specific examples.
Okay, let's do it.
On the Solana side,
yeah,
I'm really intrigued by all the stuff happening in gaming.
Oh, yeah. The gaming space is exploding right now.
These projects using NFTs and blockchain technology
should create entirely new experiences.
It's crazy.
It is. It's like players can truly own their in-game assets, trade them freely, earn cryptocurrency just by playing.
It's a whole new paradigm.
It is. It's a revolution in gaming.
It's like the difference between renting a car and owning it.
Exactly. You have so much more control when you own the asset.
And the same applies to those in-game items.
Right. If you own them as NFTs, you can take them with you.
You can trade them.
You can even use them in other games. It is, and it's not just about ownership.
Right.
Blockchain technology can enable new forms of gameplay, create more transparent and equitable economies within games.
Empower players in ways we've never seen before.
It's really exciting to see where this is all going.
It is, and on the Ethereum side, I'm fascinated by DeFi.
DeFi, yeah.
Decentralized finance.
It's constantly evolving.
It's incredible. We're talking about lending,
borrowing,
insurance,
on these
transparent blockchain protocol.
It's like building a whole new financial system.
It is, one that's accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
No matter where you are.
What your credit history is.
Exactly. DeFi has the potential to level the playing field.
Give people more control over their financial lives.
Absolutely.
And Ethereum's at the forefront of that movement.
It is, with its security.
And its established ecosystem.
Right. It's the perfect platform for DeFi.
But of course there are risks.
There are. We can't forget that.
This is still a relatively new technology.
It's untested in a lot of ways.
And there are going to be challenges.
Digbacks.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that.
This is still early days.
It is for cryptos.
There are risks involved.
So do your research.
Yeah.
Understand the technology.
And only invest what you can afford to lose.
Wise words.
But for those who are willing to embrace the risk, the potential rewards are huge.
We could be on the verge of a revolution.
A financial and technological revolution.
It's exciting.
It is.
And a little bit scary.
A little bit, yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, the next few years are going to be excrucial.
For both Ethereum and Solana.
They both have ambitious roadmaps, passionate communities, a drive to innovate.
It's a race to the top.
It is, and it's anyone's game.
So buckle up, everyone.
This is just the beginning.
We're in for a wild ride.
Oh, yeah. The blockchain roller coaster is just getting started.
Yeah, it really is exciting to think about all the possibilities with all this new technology.
You know, it's easy to get kind of lost in the hype sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To focus on just the price or whatever.
Right.
But I think it's important to step back.
Yeah.
And think about the bigger picture.
The long-term implications.
Exactly. What does all this mean for blockchain technology as a whole?
You know, I think one of the most important things to remember is that this revolution, it's not a monolithic movement.
Right.
It's not about one platform dominating everything.
Yeah.
We're seeing a diverse ecosystem emerge.
I like that, an ecosystem.
Yeah, with different platforms specializing in different areas.
Okay.
Catering to different needs.
So it's not like the early days of the internet.
Right, where everyone thought there would be one winner.
One website to rule them all.
Exactly. We got a whole web of platforms and services.
Right, whole internet.
Yeah, and that's what makes this space so dynamic.
You're so excited.
It's a Cambrian explosion of innovation.
I like that.
New platform
calls.
Applications.
Pumping up all the time.
It's really incredible to witness.
So what does that mean for investors?
Yeah.
Users?
Should they be trying to pick a winner?
In this Solana versus Ethereum go down?
I don't think so. I don't think it's about picking a winner. It's about understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each platform.
Right.
And then choosing what aligns with your needs.
Or goals.
Exactly. Some investors might want that stability, maturity of Ethereum.
Right, the crack record.
While others are drawn to that speed.
That potential.
Right. It's like
choosing between different types of investments.
Exactly. Some people want the steady growth of bombs.
Yep.
Others are willing to take more risk for higher returns in the stock market.
And diversification is key, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Spread your investments around.
So it's not about predicting the future.
No.
It's about recognizing the value in this whole ecosystem.
Right.
Positioning yourself
to benefit from the overall growth?
Exactly. The real winner here isn't Solana or Ethereum.
Is blockchain.
The technology itself.
It's seeing a new paradigm emerge.
And it's just the beginning.
It is. It's both exhilarating and a little bit daunting.
It is, right. It's like...
the possibilities are endless.
But one thing's for sure.
Yeah.
The future is going to be incredibly interesting.
Oh, yeah. The next few years are going to be pivotal.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Me neither.
Well, on that note,
yeah,
I think we'll wrap up our exploration of Solana versus Ethereum.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
It really has. I hope our listeners learned something today.
I hope so too,
The most important thing is to stay curious.
Stay informed.
And never stop exploring.
The future, the finance and technology.
It's being written right now.
And we all have a part to play.
Well said.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. And until next time, keep on diving into that fascinating world of blockchain.